Hello everyone, I am Bets Golden, and today I am not doing a voiceover as of yet, but that may change. I wanted to share with you the verse that I'm using today. It is Genesis 19:26, and the story is about Lot, and how he had to leave basically quickly. And so the verse is going to be, I'm just going to start up here. He demolished these cities, the entire plain, and the inhabitants of the cities, and whatever grew on the ground. But Lot's wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. So that really caught my attention because right now in my life, I'm going through a transition. Ooh, as you know, sorry, wasn't supposed to do that. As you know, if you've been following along, you know that I went through a divorce. I went back to work full time. I'm back in the classroom teaching. And so it's hard not to look back, but I know that God has called me to look forward. So that's why I decided to do this. And I'm also kind of going through a storm. Well, not really a storm. I think the storm was more taking place at the end of the marriage when I was still living there in the house and just trying to figure out what my next move would be. But it was so important just to praise God in that storm. So there's a song called Praise God, I'll Praise You in the Storm. And that is what originally got me to think about this, is about the storms of life and how, I've been able to praise him through it, or try to, right? Because we're not always perfect. All right, so let me just tell you kind of what's going on here. I used a clear gesso over this to protect the surface of the paper. And the reason why I did clear and not a white gesso is because I wanted the words to still show through. But it does create a nice texture and tooth for paint or anything you're laying down on it. I wouldn't recommend this for stamping and using like alcohol ink. That doesn't work so well with the gesso, but with what I'm doing today, I like it. Plus it protects the back side of my paper. And to give you an example of that, like for example, this one, so this page, this one, one of the ones I did, one of my first ones, right? This page right here, look how much paint is on that. And look, I mean, that's a lot of paint, right? But I had gessoed it and look, nothing. So that's why gessoing your surface is super important. Some people like to use a white paint instead of a gesso, but the problem with that is a white acrylic paint is like, how can I put this? It's like plastic, and so it doesn't always allow for the tooth to shine through. So it doesn't give it like not to shine through, it doesn't give it a tooth so that something can adhere to it, which can be kind of a problem, right? You want it to have a tooth so it can grab. That's what I'm looking for. And so that's why I like to use the gesso. So when I gessoed this surface, I wasn't quite sure what medium I was going to use on it. And I decided to use my Distress Oxides because of the color that I want to do. I want to do like a rainy day type theme because I'm praising God in the storm. I'm not looking back on my past. I'm focusing on the future, right? So I thought that the Distress Oxides would be a fun way to do that. So I am just shaking them up really well as I do it. I'm just using these Distress sprays. I will have for you listed down below the colors that I'm using, but real quick as this kind of sets up, Speckled Egg, Faded Jeans. Then I'm gonna slam on some of the Black Soot as well as the Villainous Potion, which is a really dark, pretty purple. So that's what I'm going with on this. And if I wanted to get it to move around, I would spray some water. However, I don't want it to move. I also don't like how it ends up super chalky. So I'm gonna dry it and then I'm gonna seal it. Once I seal it, it won't move with water, and I'll be able to place my digital art right on over it. So let me go in with some of this really pretty purple up here, right there, and then some black Soot, and then I'll go in some more with some speckled egg and call it good. So I'm just shaking up this black Soot, put that up off over there in the corner a little, off on the edge. There we go. That's enough. Let me just heat set this just a little bit again. So, oh, let me know down below. Do you guys like it when I do voiceover, or do you like it when I chat with you as I do it? Sometimes the reason why I'm doing voiceover, twofold. First reason is because when I do the voiceover, I tend to chase rabbits, and I have a one-track brain, so I can't always like do this and talk. And so I feel like a lot of times I spend a lot of time thinking about what to say because I'm so concentrated on what I'm doing. And that's kind of why I do the voiceover, is because I would have worked through the process. I am adding a little bit of water on this to get it to move. So that's why I like to do the voiceover, is because I can just kind of know what I did. Like right now, I wet this down and I'm thinking about, oh, that's a little dark, so I want to just loosen it up with a little bit of water on the area that I didn't dry. But I'm trying to talk to you about that. And so it gets hard for me to talk and work at the same time sometimes, and that's why I like to do the voiceover. Plus, I'll be honest, when I'm doing my Bible study, I like to put on like praise and worship and just really concentrate on God, and I can't always do that if I am doing as I talk. But this time it's okay, because I feel like when I'm talking, I'm kind of working through spiritually too. So I don't think that I make a lot of sense when I just talk. But what do you like? Do you like the voiceover? Do you like the talk? Do you want there to be a little bit of both? There have been times when I've thought about not saying anything and just having the video go, and then just doing music over all of it. I've thought about that too. So what do you guys like? So I'm just going in and I'm going to finish this off with some speckled egg. Do you notice how I just totally changed the topic there? I didn't even give you any kind of guidance that I was going to switch from what do you like to now I'm doing this. Gotta love it. All right. So anyway, I love how this looks. I think this looks really cool. Definitely wanted a moody sky. I think I got it. And I'm going to let this set up a little bit because I do need it to be dry before I put on my Distress Micro Glaze. If you guys do not have Distress Micro Glaze, go and get it. Oh my God, get it. This stuff is amazing. Whenever you're using any of your Distress ink, your Distress Oxide or your Distress ink, what this does is, as you know, the difference between an Oxide and the Distress ink is the Oxide is semi-movable, meaning when you get it, if you interact when it's still wet before it dries, it will move around, right? That's what it does. But once it dries, it's pretty much permanent, but it's chalky. It has like a chalky finish to it, which is super cool. A lot of people really like that. That's not how I like it, but a lot of people do. So what the Distress Glaze does on top of your Distress Oxide sprays or the inks is it brings that luster back and it just makes it shine up. Part of the reason why I really like to use the Distress ink is because it never gets chalky. It always has that shine, right? So with the Distress ink, put this on top of that to seal it. It seals both, but when you put it on top of your Distress ink, it seals it so that it no longer will move around and you won't get any more mixed colors. So let's say that you want to collage like I'm doing today, but you wanted to do this technique with your Distress ink. You would lay out your Distress ink, then you would put this on, wipe it off with some of like a paper towel. Then from there, you could totally layer on your multimedia mat like I'm gonna do and put your art on top of it to seal it, to collage, and it's not gonna move around and blend. So it's really, this is a must. It's such a great product. I love it. All right, I'm gonna finish drawing this, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what artwork I'm gonna use. So I lied. I let it dry. I really love how this looks down here. I wanna bring in some more of this speckled egg. So I'm just gonna mist some on up here, up in that corner, like so, because I want it to look more like a moody sky, not so much like a night sky. I need to refill my water bottle, but I think I have more. So as you can tell, I've dried this, right? It's not moving. Now that it's all dry, it's good to go. It's not gonna move around, which is what I want it to do. I want it to not move around. And so I dried it. Here's my other water bottle that's full. I probably could have went into my kitchen and done that quicker. All right, so there we go. Now I'm just taking that and I'm spraying it because I do want it to, you know, move around, get where it needs to go. And then I'm just gonna take my trusted towel again and just dab it up. Yeah, no, I'm loving that. Exactly kind of what I wanted. It did pick up on some of the purple, and that's because I wasn't all the way dry over there. But I'm just gonna kind of pull this through the page a little so that the words are still there. Kind of read it, kind of not. But I love how this looks now. This is totally ready. Awesome. All right. Gotta dry it. I'm gonna show you how to do this. If you've watched me for a while, you kind of know the routine, but this is dry. All right, now I wash my hands really well. What I'm gonna tell you to do, some people have been like, oh, you can't do that. You're gonna contaminate it. All right, I get your point of view. And if you tend to stick your fingers into things when they're dirty or wet, you will get mildew and mold on this. However, I understand that this is the perfect size for the blending tools. I mean, like, perfect size. And that's what they want you to use. Part of the reason why they want you to use a blending tool, which honestly, in my opinion, I think could harbor more bacteria than your clean fingers, is because you go through it faster. I don't like to do that. I like to use my fingers on this because I can pick up less, it lasts me longer, and I do just as good as a job. I've had this probably for 3 years. All right, if I was sticking a blending tool in here all the time, then I would have gone through it quicker. I understand that what I just said is gonna anger some people, and I'm sorry, but oh well, I really think that this is my preferred way. Clean, dry hands. Yes, they're stained, but they're clean and they're dry. So I'm just gonna go in, pick some up, and I'm just gonna start to rub it on through. And what this does is it brings that luster back to it. And I pick up exactly as much as I need. I'm not worried about getting too much on my blending tool, because blending tools, the bottom of them, they're foam. I mean, that's like a sponge. What are sponges known to do? They're known to trap and pick up water. So of course, it would absorb a ton of this. All right, so I have done a really good job of laying that on, and see, as you can tell, nothing is coming off. Now I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna buff it with my clean paper towel for this, and then it'll be ready to layer. So I'm just gonna take and just buff it off, and see, it's not really picking up much, if any. I mean, pretty incredible stuff. So it's all shiny again. Look at that, so pretty, nice. The luster's back, and I'm just gonna kind of get as much off as I can, or buff it through, right? I love what this looks like. So pretty. All right, there we go. Now it's good to go. I can go ahead, squirt water on it. It's just beading. Nothing is happening. Wipe it clean. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now I'm going to take my multimedia mat, right? I'm going to put a layer of this down. Then I'm going to place my digital art over it. This digital art I'm using is by his palette. It's one of my very favorite companies, but I really, really love how beautiful everything is on this. So I was thinking about maybe putting her back here so she's walking behind, but I think I'm gonna put her in the front of it a little bit. I don't know. I gotta play with it a little bit. I'm gonna lay it out. Anyway, what I'm gonna do off screen is I am going to lay out these pieces. These are the pieces that I have cut out. I hand cut them. I'm really enjoying fussy cutting lately, which is something that's weird. And I'm just gonna lay these out randomly, collage them on. I'm gonna layer this on first, then I'm gonna layer a second coat on to seal it. Actually first though, I think I'm gonna put on some of this glitter gel. Oh, yes. Oh my, I forgot. I'm like, ooh, this is on my table. Let me do that first. This is how I create. So I'm gonna do Salt and Light. It's gonna be the title. I'm gonna cut that down, make it cuter. But yeah, okay, so let me take this. I'm gonna take it down. I'm going to just kind of smear it from the top to the bottom. And just kind of get that everywhere. All right. Ooh, I like it. What I love about, this is my favorite, the Stickles glitter gel. I love it because it's looser than other glitter gels. So I just feel like you can still, it doesn't totally take over that beautiful background that I just worked so hard to create. It just adds enough sparkle to it to just make it fabulous. So look at that. Look how pretty that is. Ah! Are we having fun yet, or are we having fun? Let this dry. Then I'm gonna go collage and I'll come back. I think it's pretty much dry now. Layered it on. I inked this with, I forgot that I had these, but I love them. They're the Archival ink little minis. So I inked the edges with the Dusty Concord. I didn't want to do black because I didn't really want it to be night as much as I wanted it to be more of a moody, stormy type feel. And I was concerned that if I did the black, it would be more of a nighttime or a little bit too harsh. So that's why I inked the edges there. But yeah, so I just layered on the multi-medium matte first. Then I put this piece down, covered it up again with my trusty little tool here, layered on the next, covered it up again. And then once you do that and you just cover it, it really seals it nicely and makes it one with a page. Not quite done yet. I still want to put my date on, so I'm going to go ahead. I like to work in 3s or 5s, so I'm gonna do it right down here, right there, right there, right there, probably up here, and then one more time up there. There we go. And then to really finish the whole thing up, again, that's Archival ink that I'm using. I'm going to go ahead, add in, I have some of these in my stash. They're by Queen & Co, I think. I don't even know if you can still get them. Pretty sure I got them on clearance like 5 years ago. So, but really any kind of little embellishment that you want to use up is, you know, a great place to do that is in your art journal or your art Bible or wherever. I love adding little bits of embellishments here and there on my art journal pages. It just makes it so fun. All right, and then I'm gonna do one up. Again, I like to work in 3s or 5s. So I'm gonna do one right up there. And then I have these really pretty teardrops. Never knew what I was gonna do with them. I have ended up using these little teardrops so much. It's crazy. And again, they just really add some nice extra interest to your page. Looks like it's raining, right? All right, I will have everything I can find listed for you down below. So make sure that you go ahead and check it out. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you want to, I hope you consider doing so. I do Bible art. I try to release a Bible art page every Thursday. And I know that I've taken a break from the cards and things like that. I gotta be honest, I'm really starting to miss them. So I am gonna go back, but I feel like I needed to take that break and just refocus myself a little bit. And now that I've had my break, especially after doing this, I'm feeling recharged and like I can get back to it like I want to. I am not at this time associated with any companies. Of course, what I have listed for you down below are, I do get a commission off of them, but no company has said, hey, can you go out and do this? I was associated with Gel Press, but I actually ended up walking away because life. I love Gel Press. That was one of the hardest things I've done, is had to walk away from Gel Press. I really, really enjoyed my creative time there with them. I didn't want to give it up, but I just knew that I was unable to give them what they deserved and needed, and then also keep up on my life and teaching. So I had to let it go, but I still love Gel Press. So go over, give them some love, tell them that I sent you, but they're wonderful. And yeah, that was a hard one to walk away from. Also not doing as much work with Ranger anymore. Artistry Sublimation, told them I had to take a little bit of a break, if not walk away completely. So things have just changed. I was toying with the idea of walking away entirely from arts and crafts entirely. I was going to shut down my channel and everything. But now that I've taken a break, I've had some time to think, process, because everything's changed for me. I've decided that I want to stick with it. I think I would really miss it, so I am going to stick with it. But you're definitely going to see a lot of what I want to do, and there may not be as much time for me. I may not be making as much money as I used to before. But it's going to be what I want to do, and it's going to be my passion, definitely. And the Bible art is definitely that. Anyway, needless to say, if you want anything, do have everything I can find listed down below. I encourage you to use your stash. Please share this with your friend. Again, since I'm not working in the creative industry anymore, this is all, I'm not making a dime off of it. So if I can make a little bit off of ad revenue here on YouTube, or off of anything that you see that you want to use, and you use those affiliated links, it does really help me out and help supplement my time. Until next time, I'm Beth Golden. Happy crafting.